March was a huge month because of a tax refund, so we had a lot of income to budget this month. Here's how we spent all of our money in March. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life and accomplish financial goals through the use of a budget. And so I like to share my actual budget with you here on YouTube. If you are new here, I live in Portland, Oregon with my husband Jacob, my son Peter, who's almost 3, and Jack, who is almost 1. And here is how we spend our money as a family of 4. So this budget template, I will actually leave a link to in the description box down below, and you can check it out there as an instant download. Works in Excel, Google Sheets, all the things. And I also have a course all about budgeting if you want to check that out. It's called Budget to Your Dream Life. It'll walk you through how you can create and utilize and optimize your budget to fit your goals and also your lifestyle. So I'll have a link to that course down below as well, and you can check that out. Okay, so first thing we have here is our income. We have Jacob's income and my income individually blocked out. Jacob works in marketing. He is fully remote, works from home. I work here on YouTube, so I pay myself a salary out of my business each month. And then other income, I usually show this, but I do have this blocked off as with our other income as well, because this is our tax refund. And so for privacy and to have no one like steal my identity or whatever, just gonna keep all of those exact amounts private. But I do show you the grand total of the income that we have to work with. This month we had $15,263 and a penny. I knew what the tax refund was going to be coming into the month because we did file our taxes in February, so I was able to plan for it for the month. So this was obviously a larger month than we're typically used to. So we use a zero-based budget, which means all of our income equals all of our money out between expenses, debt, and savings. We are debt-free besides our mortgage. A lot of people will view a mortgage as a different kind of debt. So we're consumer debt-free. We do have a mortgage, but we don't have a debt section. So first off, we have is our expenses. We have our tithe. We are Christians and we believe in giving to our church and other organizations. We have that. In African New Life, I have that blocked off. We also have our mortgage here, $2,287.04 as per usual. Our HOA is $121.46 each month, and I'm okay with living in a neighborhood with a homeowners association. Oh, I forgot to mention, we live in a 4-bedroom house in Portland, Oregon, and we bought in September 2019. So our mortgage payment is made up of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. We do not have PMI anymore, which is great. Next we have is water sewer, and this was, why was this so high? Did I double book this? There we go. Water was $112.86. Because February was like a short month, that payment for our water comes out at the end of the month, and since it was a short month, it actually got posted into March, so I'd accidentally double booked it. I accounted for it in March and February. So got that taken care of. We just have one water bill, so $112.86. And then we have natural gas at $92.60, which again, all of our utilities have just gone up recently. Next we have trash. We pay our trash every other month. This month was not a trash month. Next we have is electric at $85.20. This is actually a little bit less than what I budgeted for, so that's good. I've just been budgeting extra for our utilities because they have gone up quite a bit. Next we have is internet at $62, and then our phones at $110.21. Next we have is insurance at $84.18. So this has actually gone down. This is our car insurance. We used to have 2 cars. We are now a 1-car family. We have a 2018 Highlander. We really love that car. But yeah, $84.18 is now our insurance for just 1 car. Next we have is life insurance, $52.89. We have a term life insurance policy on myself and my husband Jacob. And then we have groceries. This was absurd. We budgeted $450. We spent $707.28, which was a lot. So, I don't know. I don't know if I have any excuses. It was just an expensive grocery month, I guess. The only other thing I can think of is my baby is 10 months, and so he started little finger foods this month. So he's starting to be a little more expensive in the feeding department. I do breastfeed him, so we don't have a formula cost, but now he's getting into real food, so we have to, buy more groceries and things. Next we have is eating out. We budgeted $150, we spent $169.08. We actually did go to a sit-down restaurant this month, and we don't normally do that. We went to P.F. Chang's one day. Our older son was with grandma and grandpa, and so we took the baby with us, and it was a lot of fun to actually go to a sit-down restaurant. We normally just do takeout because I don't really want to lug 2 kids to a restaurant and pay that much for it. And then also my kids have food allergies, so that just makes it kind of hard when you're eating out, a little more scary. Next we have is gas. We budgeted 100, spent 108.55, so just about right there. Next we have is fun. We didn't spend any money on fun, but we did have a fun month, which I'll get into. Next we have is miscellaneous. I budgeted 100 and we actually spent 425.96, so that was also a lot. Next we have is Peter's school. Peter goes to a little preschool 2 days a week, so we have that cost here, which I also have blocked out for his safety of where he attends school. Next we have is the Roth IRA at $1,300. We are planning to fully max out 2 Roth IRAs this year, one for Jacob and one for myself, and so we started it this month in March, and so we are putting $650 each month between March through December to max out to be $6,500 for each one for the year. So that's like a big goal this year, is to get those maxed out, and I'm really grateful that like this is the goal we're working towards, because we have other things figured out of our debt and our emergency fund and all that. So we're working on big investing goals right now. Next we have is college. We are putting $100 each month into each boy's $529 college savings. So I know that these two are actually like investing things, but I have them in the expense section. That's just because that's money that like goes out of my bank account, and that's where I like to keep it. You can do what you want with it, but I like to view this as like a looking at my bank account, the money that I'm managing, and for me this is money that's coming out of my bank account, so I like to put that in the expense section. So $69.21.45 is what we actually spent this month. Now let's take a look at our savings section. Okay, first off is the emergency fund, which we are done with our emergency fund. We did increase that because we wanted to have over 6 months of necessary expenses saved, and we did get that done in February with other tax refund goodness, which was great. Next we have is our opportunity fund. We put $64.81 to the opportunity fund. I haven't shared what this is yet, but we are saving money for something that we're hoping will come up. So kind of every extra dollar was going there this month, and so that's what went to the opportunity fund. Also, I will mention the beginning and ending balances I have blocked out for privacy as well, just because I don't feel like I need to share exactly how much money I have to the entire internet, but I want to show you guys all this other part of it, of what we put into these funds and then what was spent out of it. But these do keep a running balance, like with the spreadsheet, if you want to grab that. Also, it is included in the course, so if you want to get my course, the budget template is included in that. But this takes like the beginning balance is the ending balance of last month, and then it adds in what we actually put into it, what was spent, and what the beginning balance was, to give you an updated ending balance. So that's how we use that here. Next we have is Jacob. Jacob gets $200 of personal spending money. I get $75. The only reason why that's different is just because Jacob's more of a spender than me. But I actually did buy myself something pretty big, and it's coming in a couple days. I got myself a new Apple Watch. I've had this for like 5 years, and I want to get the new one. It has like the cycle tracking and everything, and this one kind of like glitches out sometimes, so I feel like it could be time for a new one. So I did spend my money on that recently, and you'll see that in our April budget. Next we have is extra giving. We put $50 a month into an extra giving fund for permission to say yes to little giving opportunities if they come up, and this month we did spend $180 out of that. Next we have is gifts. We put $50 a month into that for things like baby showers, weddings. We spent $54.74 there. Next we have is clothing, and we put $25 into that. This is clothing for myself and Jacob. We don't have a lot of clothing needs for the two of us. We spent $137.97 this month though, so we did spend a little bit there. Next we have is vacation and wedding. So my sister got married at the beginning of April, and she is down in Southern California. So our whole family went down to Southern California. We were there for a week. We left at the end of March, and then we're there for a whole week into April. So we did have some expenses in March for the trip. We stayed at an Airbnb, and we also went to Disney one day, which was a lot of fun. So we spent $1688.75 out of the vacation fund, and so we put a little extra there. Christmas, I'm not putting anything to, because we have a credit card with USAA that gives us 1.5% cash back, which we use for most things, and then we save up all those rewards and we spend them on Christmas. We also have the Costco Citi card, which also earns us cash back, which we utilize that card to maximize the cashback rewards for like the certain things you can earn more in cashback for. So we just pool all of our cash back and use that for Christmas. So I don't think we're going to need to spend anything else on Christmas this year. But now's a great time to start saving for Christmas if you haven't already. Next we have is medical. We aren't putting anything into medical right now because last month we actually saved our full deductible for our insurance plan. We are on a high deductible insurance plan through my husband's employer, and we have an HSA, a health savings account, with that, but our goal right now is to actually use the HSA for more long-term investing, which the HSA is awesome. It's the only thing that has a triple tax advantage where you put money in before taxes. You can actually then invest those dollars and let it grow tax-free, and then it can be spent tax-free on qualified medical expenses. So we're wanting to fully utilize that triple tax advantage. A lot of people will use it as an in and out, which is still great, but it's not utilizing like the full advantage of investing it. So we are investing it and using it for long term. So right now, whenever we have a medical expense, we save the receipt. I just keep track of all of it in a Google spreadsheet, and then I have a Google Drive where I save all my receipts there to keep track. And then I pay for it out of pocket. And so we are paying for all of our medical expenses right now out of pocket. So I saved our full deductible because I'm just anticipating we're at least going to hit the deductible, maybe the max out of pocket, but we'll get there if we need to get there. We're not planning on this being an expensive medical year, like compared to 2022 when I had a baby. I knew I was going to hit my max out of pocket, but this time I know that we're at least going to hit the deductible because we have 2 little kids and we've already had medical expenses happen this year. So this month we spent $522.32 on medical related things, fun little doctor's visits. Everyone's been sick all the time, so had some doctor's visits there. Next we have is dues and subs, $50 a month we put into that to cover things like, the Costco membership renewal, the zoo renewal, the like random little things like that. And so we had to spend $79 this month on a subscription. Next we have is car maintenance at $75 this month, and we spent $67.38. Then we have house maintenance. Always important to have money saved for house maintenance, and let me tell you, we had to spend it this month. We spent $472.79 because our furnace quit working. So it of course is always like when it's cold. It was like in the 30s and it was rainy. It was before we went on vacation, and our furnace just like stopped working. It would like turn on for like a minute and then stop. So our house got very cold. Well, thankfully we were able to call the repair people and they were able to fix it. It just like had built up some water that they had to like suck out and they fixed it. I don't know, but it was only a few $100s for them to fully fix it and service the HVAC system and everything. So I was like, when it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna have to replace the furnace? But no. And the other thing is that like, even though I thought like, oh my gosh, are we gonna have to replace the furnace? I know that we have an emergency fund. We have this house maintenance fund. Like, it was gonna be okay either way, but it was a relief to have money saved and set aside for instances like this. So we could just, pay it right then and there and didn't have to worry about it. Next we have is our household. We put $100 each month into household to cover things like toilet paper, paper towels, soap, napkins, like all of those like household related things. And we spent $184.59. Next we have is kids, and we budgeted $250 in the kids fund, and we spent $455.57 on these kids. So this would be things like clothing, diapers, toys, things like that for the kids. And oh my gosh, we spent a lot on them this month. But what are you going to do? Okay, so the grand total that we have here, the total out, this is taking the expenses and the savings section, is $15,154. And you can see here that the difference, which should be 0, is now $108.63 because I had that mistake up earlier in the water where I double counted it. So I'm going to go back and allocate that. I'm going to allocate it to the vacation fund because I know I was going to be a little under on that in April. So we'll add to that to make sure that we are covered for the extra vacation expenses that we had. And that is a look at our budget. But the other thing that I want to show you is our net worth update. So let's take a look. This was actually a great month for our net worth when I feel like net worth hasn't been so great lately because of market changes. So total retirement this month, we are now at $125,000. 32. So we have 401k and a Roth IRA for each of us. So the grand total of that here, which was an increase. Great. I also have our house value here. I just tracked that through Zillow. I have our money in our emergency fund and extra sinking fund cash. I have all of that blocked out for privacy. But we do have that there. And then our HSA, this increased to now $7,960, which is great. Again, we haven't touched it. We've had the HSA for 2 years now that we haven't touched. Yeah, 2022 and now 2023. Next we have is Robinhood. I have a few single stocks there, nothing big to write home about, but 172. And then our car value. I tracked this through Kelley Blue Book. Our 2018 Highlander is at $32,121. So our total assets, or the things that we own, are $767,000. And then our liability, or things that we owe money on, is just our mortgage. We pay our minimum payment for our mortgage each month, and that is at $374,793 now. And so we had a decrease in that. So our grand total for net worth is at $392,816. So we had an increase of net worth of $21,458. So the funny thing is that we actually hit a $400,000 net worth a year ago, but because of market changes, our house value dropped, our retirement also dropped, and then we've been contributing more to it, and it's just like been at a steady basically 120 for the last like year. But because of all of that, our net worth went down. And so hopefully we'll hit that $400,000 mark here again soon. I'm hoping that by like June we'll be at that, depending on, how the market's going. When it comes to my net worth, there are some things I have control over and some I don't. I have control over what we're putting into our accounts. I do not have control over what the market is doing, but we're in it for the long haul. So this is just, I'm not concerned about this. It's just fun to be able to track and see our progress month over month. So that is an overall look at our month for March. Let me know in the comments below, how did your month go? And also, if you want to check out this budget template, I will have a link to that below, as well as my course where you can learn how to create and optimize a budget that will fit your lifestyle and your financial goals. And with that, I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.
About to leave, already